All right, my beautiful people, this is ERGJ, Conspiracy Brother, back with another episode of What is Truth. We're going to be going through the Freddie Gray case. The charges was dropped today. We'll be going through this, really talking about, what this is all about at the end of the day. Of course, Conspiracy Brother got another conspiracy theory. I know you guys want to hear it. I'm just going to kind of go through the story. So, at any rate, just always starting with what propaganda really is, guys. Again, in 2012, 2013, a law was passed that allowed for the U.S. government to lie to the American people. They use propaganda to sway public opinion, by using television, radio, newspaper, social media, targeting the American and foreign people in controlled psyops, staged events, scripted events, like Hollywood. Now, even in propaganda, it doesn't mean that you don't have casualties. It doesn't mean that you don't have people that really do die. But more often than not, in these events that are could be a hit, or it could definitely just be another staged event. The people who actually do these events normally won't go to jail. I mean, because they are part of it. It's all a big scheme, big grand scheme, world stage play, and most of us are just watching. And this is an act that passed by the NDAA. And I really want to start to help you guys to understand something. I really don't get bothered much. I mean, it bothers me because, I'm pissed because they insult my intelligence, that the elite, the establishment, the Illuminati, if you want to call them, the people who own and control this world, the Zionist Jews, they own and control the media. They own and control the government. They own and control the police force. They own and control the school system. They own and control everything that we are subject to in the public. 90%, 95% of everything that we're subject to in society are owned and controlled by 13 families. Understand that. It's a bloodline. They're doing what they want to do. They're trying to bring forth what they call New World Order, where they have a system of one. The World Trade Center was two buildings that were collapsed 33 years after it was originally developed. 33 years. 33 is a number of Freemasonry. Is the highest degree in Freemasonry. Scottish Rite. 33. What did they do after that fake 9/11 event that took place? They built a one trade center. They want one financial system. They want one government. They want one religion, one belief, and that religion is what? Do as thou wilt. That all of us that they are God and no one else matters. It is sick. And this just plays into that narrative. Again, it's following the story. So let's go through the story. The story highlights, we have a story on Freddie Gray, charges dropped against remaining officers. Now, what is this going to do? It should incite some more people to start marching. It's almost a story that was almost forgot. We have the Black Lives Matter that will probably get rampant and rolling again for another injustice. And what do they say? We want justice. We want justice. We want peace. Something like that. I don't know. But what is justice really, guys? I mean, how can you justify the death of a young man? I mean, how do you get justice for that? There's nothing that's going to bring this guy back. And what type of, do you want the other person, people who what is justice? Somebody define that for me, please, in the comments below. If you could see justice for Freddie Gray, tell me, what would that look like? Because when we're marching out and telling people we want justice, I think it's important that we define what justice is. So charges dropped. So let's get right into the story, guys. So breaking news at 1:16, the justice has been done. Baltimore Fraternal Order of, look at this, Fraternal Order of Police President Jean Ray. This is a big system. Fraternal Order. It's a fraternity almost. Order of Police President Jean Ray said Wednesday after charges were dropped against the three officers. He added, though, that comments about police from Baltimore State Attorney Marilyn Mosby were outrageous. So Marilyn Mosby is a state attorney. I believe that's very similar to having a public defender. She works for the state. She works for Baltimore State. She is a state attorney. She is a part of the system. Look at this, Marilyn Mosby. Marilyn Mosby, MM. Turn the M sideways, you get 33. The occult of 33. MM, as well as if you look at numerology, I'm going to break this stuff down for you again. Because it's important that you understand this stuff. This is nothing but a big game. More propaganda. Unfortunately, we lost a young man in crossfires of war. But this is what this is, guys. MM. If you look at a numerology chart, right here, I don't know how long it's going to take to pull up. MM is 4, 44. I talked about in my last video, the occult of 44. 44 connecting to Barack Obama, the 44th president. No wonder why we haven't seen any cops, get indicted for killing black men. 44, the occult of 44. If you take 44 and you write it out, you can write it out as 2 times 11 times 2. 2 times 11 times 2 equals 44. You can take that and you say 2112. 2112, the same thing there. Now, if you take 21 plus 12, what do you get? 33. It's the occult of 33. It's lining up with the people that own and control and run this show. It's a big show. It is not. It is real. It has real casualties, but it's a show. It's a big story nonetheless. It's an ongoing movie picture. So we have prosecutor calls decision to drop charges, agonizing. 3 of the 6 Baltimore officers already have been acquitted in Freddie Gray case. So the original story. Baltimore prosecutors are dropping charges against the 3 remaining officers facing trial in connection with Freddie Gray's death. Gray, 25, died after sustaining a neck injury while in police custody in April 2015. So this goes back a whole year. 3 of the 6 officers charged in the case have been already acquitted. Gray's death became a symbol of the black community's mistrust. Look at this. A symbol of the black community's mistrust of police and triggered days of protests and riots in Baltimore. Well, if they were acquitted and the charges were dropped, what do you expect to see happening in Baltimore tonight and moving forward? It's going to be more protests, more riots, more division, more chaos. And when you have chaos, that is what they want, guys. They want chaos because their slogan is order out of chaos. So while we're fighting one another, while we're riding against the police are the pawns of the organization. The police are the front line. They are not the people that are making the decisions. They're not the people that are calling the shots. They don't act on their own. They are ordered. We see up here is from the fraternal order of police. So you have police who are ordered to do things. They are playing their role. They're part of the shield. They have a fraternal order or a fraternity or a club that they're loyal to. They're more loyal to their club than they are to the public. Understand that. If you are part of a fraternity or sorority, or you just think about your family, if your family member did something wrong, you're going to stand behind them. You're not going to rat them out. You're not going to have them go to jail more than likely, unless you're just that type of person. But these people are part of a club, the same club that's run and owned and controlled by the people who own and control everything else as it relates to society, media, movies, television, newspapers, government, schools, religion. It's all owned and controlled by. Let me look up something for you guys, right? Let's see if it's under here. Here we go. It's all owned and controlled by. See if that's big enough. I don't know if that's big enough for you guys. Let's see if I can find another one. Here we go. Let's look at this. Listen, guys. Here's a pyramid. All right. Here's how it works. All of us, we're down here. We're debt slaves. We're all in debt, school debt, car loan debt, mortgage debt. We were born into debt. Our birthday gave us debt. They put a price on our birth. Look at the next level of control. They control us through the government, the police force, the prisons, the military, the court system, through the media. They control our minds, controlled psyops, psychological operations, so that we can be stupid. We can be dumbed down. We won't think critically about the things that we see. And they control us or indoctrinate us with education. Public school education just pretty much guarantees that you will be a debt slave for your life, and you'll work the rest of your life trying to work off your debt in order to make their businesses, their corporations, to make their corporations rich. While you're in debt, they're getting wealthy, and we become their slaves in order to pay off the debts from going to this indoctrinated education. I don't want to go through this whole list, but this is how this works, guys. And I'll make sure I'm gonna post this because I don't think people really understand how this game works. All right, let's go back to the story. Now, understand that it's no longer white against black at this point. It's not just white against black. That's one fight. That's one place of division. Right now, we're talking about Blue Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter. And as you can see, black people are part of Blue Lives Matter. They are part of the shield. So it's not just white against black. It's not white cops killing black people. It's blue. It's the shield that are under the control of the fraternal order or the police department, the chief, who is under control of those who own and control the government, the prisons, the military. It's all one big family. And we are the sheep. We are the peons. We are at the low end of the totem pole, and they don't care who they use as an example to get us to continue to rile up and continue to have us fight one another. There's going to come a day and time where the people that are the debt slaves, and I don't care whether you're white, black, Chinese, Asian, Mexican, whatever it is, if you fall into this category, at some point in time, we're all going to have to come together because it is a war of class, rich against poor. It's more poor people, more sheep, more people that are taxed, that are in debt, that can't retire, that have to work for the people that own them, than it is the people up top. That's why the base of this pyramid is large, because that's where most of us stay. But because we aren't thinking, we can't think for ourselves because we're indoctrinated by the media. It tells us what to think. It tells us how to feel, and we just follow right along with it. But once you begin to break free from the matrix, then you can start to share the message and get other people to understand that we have got to come together, because the only way to change this system is for us all to come together and take our problems to the top or above the top. And that would be the United Nations. All right, the prosecutor in here basis. So again, the prosecutor, the state attorney, Marilyn Mosby. What a coincidence. MM. Turn the M sideways. That's 33. The occult of 33, the highest ranking degree in Freemasonry. MM, from a numerology standpoint, is 44. The occult of 44 and the occult of 33 connect. Believe because you've been taught what to believe for 30, 40, 50 years of your life. But that's why Conspiracy Brother is here to expose the truth. There's no coincidence why these cops continue to get acquitted and the charges get dropped. But at some point, we're going to say, you know what? My eyes have been opened and now I see. I'm not going to react the same way I used to react. I'm not going to fight the same way I used to fight. We're going to have to come up with new strategies because they already know how we're going to respond. Prosecutor, inherent bias when police themselves. Absolutely. There's no way we can have police policing themselves. I mean, we need an independent institution to police the police. But guess what, guys? That's probably not going to happen. We've had the same president in office for the past 8 years. The president's been talking about criminal justice reform for 8 years, and for 8 years that has not happened. And if you believe that Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton is going to come into office and make that happen, you are sadly mistaken, because they are part of the upper echelon. They are up here. They are way up here. They're above corporations. They are up here making decisions. They're high in government, but they are high up in government. They're up here with the think tanks. I just really want you guys to understand this. And of course, I'm not 100% correct, but I am getting more knowledgeable. More knowledge is coming in. So more than a year ago, Baltimore State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby stood in her city's courthouse steps and announced charges against the officers. No one is above the law, but yet people are above the law. The law, who makes the law? Who makes the law? The people who make the law are above the law, and they don't have to abide by the law. We see it all the time, guys. We see rich people get off because they're rich. I mean, let's just keep it real. There's plenty of people that are above the law. Let's not be naive. She said that she read out charges that range from second-degree depraved heart murder to manslaughter to second-degree assault. On Wednesday, the prosecutor said the decision was not to proceed with the remaining trials was agonizing. Agonizing. She was torn up. I mean, yes, you were playing a great role. And Marilyn Mosby, I wish that I could believe you. I wish that I wouldn't know what I know now because I would actually believe you. But I know that you are part of the system. As a matter of fact, agonizing, that word itself in Chaldean numerology, guess what agonizing equals? That's right, 33. Isn't it interesting? So we got a 33. Look at it. They highlighted the word for us. She's agonizing. Agonizing in Chaldean numerology is 33. Turn the M sideways and you got 3. It looks like a 3. That's 33, the occult of 33. Marilyn Mosby, just in basic numerology is a 4. So you got 44, the occult of 44. I've talked before that the occult of 44 is connected to the occult of 33. Obviously, 33 is in Freemasonry, but the 44 is connected to our commander-in-chief, Barack Obama, the 44th president. It's no wonder. I can continue going on and on, guys. I can give you this stuff. More and more. Pythagorean theory, Clinton. In Pythagorean numerology, Clinton equals 33. This is a number that is specific and very important to the people who own and control all of this. All of this. It starts up here, owning and controlling all the way up here, owning the financial sector, central banks, tax revenue, interest revenue, corporations, they own that. That trickles down. We are seeing sub-levels of control, down to population being government, media, and education. If you think that the government isn't run by corporations, you're sadly mistaken. Who runs the corporations? The central banks. Who runs the central banks? Just keep on moving up the ladder. All right, in a fire address to reporters, she slammed the way police handled their investigation and said the criminal justice system needs real, substantive reforms to handle a case such as Gray. You know what? We've been singing the same song, thinking that some reforms are really going to come in, singing the same song for how long, guys? A decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades, the same song. And guess what? The song continues to play on. We could try this case 100 times in cases just like it, we will still end up with the same result. Absolutely. This is why Philando Castile, this is why Alton Sterling, we're not going to see anything different. It's the same thing, different day. There's nothing new under the sun. Shouting into the microphone, she read from prepared remarks. Mosby said the case showed an inherent bias that is the direct result of when police themselves. They were individual police officers that were witness to the case, yet were a part of the investigative team. Interrogations that were conducted without asking the most pointed questions. Lead detectives that were completely uncooperative and started a counter-investigation to disprove the state's case. Mosby, who comes from a long line of police officers, look at this. She comes from a long line of police officers. They're telling us that she is a part of the system. The system she comes from, it's in her bloodline. She was selected. Marilyn Mosby was selected to be the prosecutor. Marilyn Mosby, 33. This is all a setup. It was all a setup, all propaganda. Propaganda to do what, guys? To sway public opinion. Why? So that we can have you upset. We can mess with your mind, psyop, psychological operation, mess with the public's mind to get them to do and react in their emotions the way that we want them to react. So I won't be surprised if we see riots or protests in Baltimore. I won't be surprised if we see more people going to jail because of this, all because they don't understand that this was set up a long time ago. And riots and protests, I'm sorry, they do not work because we have to understand how the system works. And it's not the system that we think it is. It's understanding things like this. How does it really work? And this stuff is set up a long time ago. It's set up in advance, way in advance. I mean, I'm just now starting to crack this stuff, guys. And I'm just saying, I'm asking for your help. I can't do it alone, but I'm doing my best to bring relevant content out for you guys to understand how all of this stuff is working. Now, it's Freddie Gray. Look at that. His name in Pythagorean theory is 6'6". Oh, my goodness. 6'6". Anyway, I'm anti-police brutality And I need not remind you that the only loss and the greatest loss in all of this was that of Freddie Gray's life, she said. When Mosby first took Gray's case, some praised how swiftly she acted. Others, however, said there wasn't enough evidence to convict the officers. So at any rate, I'm going to stop right here, guys. I mean, I'm going to read the rest of this, but I think I made my point. And I just want you guys to really start looking into these matters because here's the agenda. Here is the narrative. The narrative, again, is chaos. Chaos through what? Through conflict. Conflict through who? Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter. And then also Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. Because what happens here? What if there's a retaliation in Baltimore? I can see that coming down the pike for this incident. Then we're going to have All Lives Matter coming back against Black Lives Matter because they're going to feel like, okay, the police are of more value than Freddie Gray. The police, you don't shoot a cop. They're in uniform. We place more value on the cop's life in this society than we do on the civilian's life. And so if we see that happen, and I'm not predicting it's going to happen, I'm saying that in this narrative, I can see it happening. I can see a return or retaliation being set up, a controlled psyop being set up to retaliate against the officers in Baltimore or an officer, something happening in Baltimore the same way that we saw in Baton Rouge. What did we see in Baton Rouge? We saw that officer had killed Alton Sterling. We saw a week or 2 weeks later that there was a retaliation in Baton Rouge by Gavin Long, who shot 3 cops. So we've seen this, and there's nothing new under the sun. And so I won't be surprised if we see it again, and we get the same reaction from the sheep again. Nothing new under the sun. They expect us to act how we act. They expect us to react how we act. They expect us to feel how we feel, all because we get tied up in our emotions and we won't think with our brain. So just to recap, Marilyn, what's her name? It's Blue Lives Matter. I don't care what color they are in the suit. It's Blue Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter. In this case of Freddie Gray in Pythagorean numerology equals 66, giving us connection to 666 or death. Matter of fact, death itself, that word. I had to look in the other calculator. So this right here, in case you guys don't know, you go to a gematria calculator. It's the study of converting numbers or words into numbers. So death, let's see what that equals. 38. Let me look at another one. See if we got any connection here. I think it's 38. I had to do a little bit more research on 38. And here's another one we can go to. Reduction system, probably give me 20. Yeah. Gives us a couple of them, 228. That's an interesting number. And 38. So 38. So I have no connection there. I had to come back and do more research on 38. I know there's a connection there. But at any rate, we have his attorney, Marilyn Mosby, MM. Turn it over, a cult of 33, the highest degree in Freemasonry. Hold to control everything. If you keep it the same and do MM from a numerology standpoint, it's 44. 44, the occult of 44 and the occult of 33 are connected. 44 brings us over to Obama, the 44th president. Many things are happening under his presidency. There's connections to this stuff. These people operate under a different language. Look at this fraternal order of police letting us know that the police is a fraternity. It's a fraternity. They call it the Shield. The people that are part of the Shield are loyal to the Shield. Every now and then you'll have someone that'll come out, but they're very few and far between because they understand that they've taken an oath to protect the Shield at all costs. They are a part of it. They take their orders from up above. These police officers do not act on their own just to do it. No, it's all a controlled psyop, and unfortunately, in these psyops, we do lose life. I don't question life. I never question life. I pray for Freddie Gray, his family, those that are affected. But I do understand that these things are not coincidences. They are set up. CNN, matter of fact, CNN, if we look at real quick, if we look at a numerology again on CNN, I'm trying to hurry up. I'm almost done, guys. Let's look at the numerology chart on CNN, which this is set up on. So numerology chart on CNN, you get the 5 and the 5 and the 3, 13. Unlucky number 13. Isn't that a coincidence that CNN equals 13? 3 plus 5 plus 5. It's all in the numbers. I'm learning more as I go, and as I learn, I continue to let you guys know what I found. But I'm asking for your help as we continue to seek truth. And all of these cases, these tragedies, these controlled psyops that come up, it's our curiosity that's going to lead us to truth, and it's the truth that's going to set us free.